see in my banknote collection, I have here 1.9 million Bolivares. Yes, 1.9 million Bolivares, and you can see it in the stacks here. There's 9 in this stack, and there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that stack, plus 3 individual packages of 100. These are $1,000 notes. Now, this used to be the biggest note in circulation before hyperinflation kicked in. The 100 Bolivares note, that was the biggest note. Just like in the US, the $100 note. And as you can see, in other countries when hyperinflation really gets bad, you end up with these kind of notes. Look at all these zeros. This is a $1 billion note. We haven't seen that yet happen in Venezuela. So, at some point it got out of control. People couldn't carry around so many $1,000 notes, or 1,000 Bolivar notes, because it's too much money to carry around. They came out with a $100,000 note. It looks similar to the $100 note, and as you can see here in the year, it was 2013. So in 2013, this was the biggest note you could find. And now, the biggest note in 2017, that's just 4 years later, it's $100 million note. So I have 10 of these. 10 of these notes is equal to 1 million Bolivares. So 10 of these notes is having the same amount as this stack right here, which is 9 plus 1. So one of these notes is now the same as that big fat stack of 1,000 Bolivar notes on one bill. So now you got 100 million Bolivares in one note. This is what happens in hyperinflation. In 2010, if you had 1.9 million Bolivares, you were like a millionaire. Imagine that. You could buy a house. You were doing real well. A few years later, now you're in abject poverty. That $1.9 million that you had in the bank is worth nothing but a stick of gum. That's the problem with hyperinflation, is it just kicks in and you can't really predict it. It will just happen in a matter of years. The first step you'll notice is the inflation starts to creep up a little, like 3 to 4% a year, and then 5 to 6% a year. Then all of a sudden, the money quickly loses confidence. The world starts to lose confidence in your currency, and nobody wants to trade with your currency anymore. So you end up printing more and more and more just to pay your debts. Now, if you owe $1.9 million, well, you're doing real well, because now, for the price of a stick of gum, you just paid off your debt. So people who are in heavy debt do very well during hyperinflation. But those who are savers and investment, they get decimated and end up paupers in the end. This is why you should have some kind of hedge against hyperinflation. Usually stocks in international companies do very well. Like, for example, let's say Boeing, or stock in the S&P 500 ETF. If you had, let's say, $1.9 million instead of Bolivares in Venezuela, but you had it in the S&P 500 ETF, the SPY, you'd be doing well, because not only did you just make more money from 2010 to 2017, you're collecting a dividend check that you live off of. So this is why hoarding cash, a lot of people think it's safer than stock, is not necessarily true. The best way to protect your asset purchasing power is to own a diversified portfolio. Something like the SPY is probably the best thing to have if you want to protect your purchasing power in the future. Gold is not the best thing to have, although it's good to have a little bit of gold just for get the hell out of the country money. If you need to barter your way out of the country, so you can go to a safer country. But gold doesn't make sense as a true hedge against inflation. As you can see, if you buy gold in 2010, you're going to be doing a lot worse than the person who bought the SPY ETF in 2010. So this is it, $100 million Bolivares. I guess they didn't want to put a lot of zeros because it would look embarrassing, so they put the text, but kept the number still showing as 100. I suspect they're going to end up with this in the next couple of years. This was Yugoslavia. They used to have, as you can see here, a $10 note. And the same picture, but it went from 10 to 1 billion. This is what happens when hyperinflation strikes.